We go into this episode. Leaving religion.
Yeah.
Wow.
Peace, peace, peace. What's up, Nathaniel? First person in, man. That's what's up. Or it's the first person that I see, rather. When I go back and look at the lives, it's like several people show up before I can even see them, and then I'm always giving someone else credit for being on first. What's up, Raymond? Raven? What's up, Beezy? What's up, Miss Gigi? What's up, Camia B? Peace to you, Sleepy Hollows, Hollow Tips. Peace to all of you guys. Peace to all of you. Love you all. Welcome in, family. I just want to give it some time to build up or for you guys to get on, because I have some very, very important things that I need to say to you guys, rather. So just bear with us, man. I'm gonna begin soon, but I want to let you guys get on first.
Move that cord on the outside of my phone and behind my phone. Thank you, sir. No, not that one. Yours. Like, put it behind mine. Oh, it won't go? Okay. Okay. You good.
Yeah, sure enough, Messiah. So now I have to speak to this, so I'm sorry, family, to even have to respond to this type of stuff. Y'all know me, I don't like to waste my time, and I certainly don't like to speak to situations that I feel are irrelevant to what I'm trying to do in my mission, but unfortunately, I do have to take a pit stop to explain some things to the people. All right, so just hang in there with me, family. I see we've got plenty coming on YouTube. We're still waiting for the folks in the family and in the Kevin Wesley group to get on. Peace, Arahoro. Peace, Charlie. How you doing? I love you too. Atanya, peace to you. Sydney, your new subscriber, welcome. Hope you enjoy it. I am Catherine. I am actually beginning to put weight back on, and that is exciting. It was taking me so long to get control of my weight, and now I begin to be able to put that weight back on, so that is exciting for me. Step in the right direction, right? Sure enough, I feel you. You say if you're saying you're sleepy, I am too. I'm very tired. It's been a very busy week for me so far. Thank you, Emily. Hey, Didi Jean. Vanessa, what's up, sweetie? Peace, Charles. Peace, Sissy. I love you too. So I'm just giving it a few more moments, family, and we're going to begin to talk. Thank you very much, Charles. I always say actions speak louder than words. Our love to you, Indigenous Cartel. Christopher Johnson, man, I got love for y'all, man. Y'all know how it is, family. Y'all know the deal. A lot of you guys don't need this explanation, but I have to do this, and I'll explain why that it is necessary that I do this, but it has to be done. And I know to a lot of you guys, this will probably sound utterly ridiculous, okay? But it has to be done, all right? If you tried purchasing an event ticket to the next event, go to betheevolution.org, and you want to scroll down until you see a yellow shirt. That shirt will say Charlotte Born Winners. The purchase of that shirt, which is $50, covers the admission to the event. So I need to do better with that and make it the first thing you guys see, but I actually introduce some new designs after that, and they just kind of drop down. But what you want to do is you want to scroll down some, and then you'll see a yellow shirt, and it says Charlotte on it, and just put the size that you want in notes, and I'll send that shirt to you, and that'll be your admission. You're very welcome, Tanya. Look forward to seeing you. Coco, peace. Tamasha, yes, I'm on YouTube as well. So I'm doing both. I'm on YouTube as well as Kevin Wesley Group. And I'm just trying to allow enough to come on so we can have this dialogue and I can say the necessary things I need to say. Latoya, what's up with you, love? What's up with you, sis? Welcome on. And Toya, if you stay on the whole time, I know you're probably busy with work and all, but if you stay on the whole time, you're probably going to hear me say some things that to you may sound ridiculous, but these are assertions, family, that have been placed against me, and so I have to speak to them. And normally I don't do that. I don't really care too much for what people say about me because I don't identify with my person. You know what I mean? So, but I love you too, sis. Peace, Kevin. See you, Tamasha. Love you too. All right, family. So what I'm gonna do is I've given it a little bit of time. I guess I'll go into some of the things that have been said and what I need to do in order to, I guess, protect myself and to give others information who may be seeing what other people are asserting about me, and that's where they can know what came from the horse's mouth. Okay. Number one of the reasons I don't actually respond to a lot of hateful information that I get or insults or assertions that may come towards me is because I actually do not identify with being Kevin Wesley. Like I don't identify with being the person that I was taught to believe I was. You understand? So a lot of what people say and assert about me, these things just don't bother me or give me the sense of urgency to respond to it. It just doesn't. I mean, I guess to me, if I know I'm not guilty of what they are asserting, I simply just don't let it bother me, because if I were to spend my time chasing down rumors and what people were saying, there's just not enough time in the day. I would be completely stressed out, and I care more about my movement and you guys and delivering the information that I need to deliver to you guys than I do care about chasing people down and arguing with people about what they say about me. You understand, family? So thank you very much, Sandra. So I haven't been Kevin Wesley for a long time, to be frank. I don't have a name. I don't identify with that name. I respond to Kevin Wesley as that's the name that you know me by. That's the name that's on my birth certificate, the name my mother gave me. But I don't identify with this person. This person I done away with a long time ago. I always say me and this person made an agreement that in order for me to evolve into a higher being, that person had to go or get out of the way. And so Kevin Wesley willingly stepped out of the way a long time ago. You understand? I'm not that person. I don't identify with being that person. The reason now, though, that I have to say this is because things are being asserted about my person, not the person that I go by in the Matrix, Kevin Wesley, right? This person has been asserted for being a couple of things, and I just want to speak to some of these things, okay? Number one, a hate group leader. Never once have I ever encouraged hate. So for me to be even accused of being a leader of a hate group is really ridiculous. I encourage love. I encourage us all to put our past behind us and to literally move forward, right? And there's no way we can do that with hate in our hearts. My slogan is Be Evolution. And obviously, EVOLV is love. It's love backwards, right? Or EVOL, which is the first few letters of evolution, right? And I always say, even though it doesn't make sense, right? You can't evolve without love, because that word is right there in it. It begins with it. Evolve begins with love, right? Even though the word is spelled backwards. And it's about love, and that's all I've always been about, right? Never once have you guys seen me identify with being racist, hating any other race. I've simply saw people as people, human beings who were programmed into their way of thinking, and our programming is what causes the division and causes us to go at each other at the rates that we do. From my opinion, from my standpoint, what I see is that our programming makes us hate each other. And without that programming, we would get along, white, black, Hispanic, Chinese, whatever you identify with. I often talk about things like you're Chinese because you're from China. China is a country named by men, or not even a country, because countries are created by men. It's a landmass that is owned by men or conquered by men that we now call China. And if you're from that area, you're now Chinese. I don't believe in any of that stuff. I think we're just people, beautiful people. And because of where we grew up, we get given a matrix. Thank you very much, Marcus. We're giving a matrix. You're giving a matrix of American. You're given a matrix of black, white, whatever color you are in this American state or country. You now have many things to identify with, and this is all the way down to your name. And as you grow up, the jobs you take on, your titles, all the things that you associate yourself with, you identify with. And I keep saying that in order for us to truly have unity, we have to come away from everything that separates us and to truly love one another. That does not, to me, sound like someone who is advocating hate or terrorism or violence. It just doesn't, to me, sound that way. Now, if you guys feel that way, enlighten me, because from where I'm from, hate doesn't sound like love. Hate sounds like hate. Loving everyone does not sound like hate. My initial video was skewed a lot of people's opinions of me. It said that ex-pastor leaves the church, says he can't teach a lot of black people anymore. If you watch this video went viral everywhere, and this is what caused a lot of you guys to know of me. Notice I never said that in my video. This is all from someone's title of a video. And even to this day, 3 years later, people would always hit me back and say, you know what, the religion has been given to everybody, not just black people. So why would you only say that you can't teach a lie to black people? Well, I didn't say that. In fact, I've never said such a thing. I can't teach a lie to anyone, period. Guys, the church I went to was multicultural. There was many different people who went to our church. We were evangelistic, and we actually thought that our church was the idea of what heaven should look like. We had people from different races in this church, and we all loved one another. It was not any hate or separation in terms of racial. We really believed that this is what God would want, is a united church full of different looking people. This is what we believed. I never let that go. I've never walked away from religion and began to hate another people for how they look or what they identify with in terms of being a race. I think that's foolish in terms of, not foolish in terms of recognizing who a lot of our systematic oppression has came from, but foolish in terms of thinking that the reason that we've been systematically oppressed is because someone identifies with a certain color or because someone's pigment of skin. It has nothing to do with that. It just doesn't. And so this is one of the things I wanted to speak to first about me being a hate leader. Never once. I've always encouraged love. Even when people have shown me hate, even when people have made videos to try and discredit me or shame my person, my actual character, never once have I made a video back targeting them back. Never once have you saw me make a video on a person specifically arguing, at them or asserting, rumors at them, right? Or trying to suggest that they do anything. I've never done that. I've never tried to hurt anybody's name or period. So where the idea of a hate group or a terrorist organization or a violent organization or an organization that advocates violence, where that comes in, I absolutely do not know. I disagree with it all. I know my intentions more than anyone, and my intentions are not to see chaos. It is to see love. It is to see the world become a better place, okay? The second one is that I am a Messiah, or that I am claiming to be the Messiah. I have heard these assertions as well. Vanessa, one of the moderators, as you know, she's going through it now, and it literally looks just like my video 3 years ago when I was suspended until further notice from my job for making that video, and she's now going through now what appears to be the same thing. At this point, it's just a suspension, but she's going to keep us posted. Nevertheless, in watching her video, she brought up, of course, the fact that what they were saying to her. Thank you very much, Kilani. They were saying to her that I have asserted myself, or people take me as a Messiah or the next coming of a Messiah. Family, I do not believe in or support in any way religion or religious type thinking in any way. That being said, I would never claim to be a Messiah, okay? I would never claim to be the second coming, because that would imply that there was once a first coming, and I do not believe in that, okay? I do believe that, or understand Christ consciousness and what that meant as far as the literal meaning and definition of reaching Christ consciousness, that higher form of thinking that all of us should aspire to. And I understand fully that people were called Christ and Messiahs long before these titles were given to Jesus and a lot of the people that a lot of you guys call Messiah today. I'm fully aware of that. However, I know that in our terms, when someone says, or in our day and age, the word Messiah or Christ doesn't mean a person who has acquired a certain level of knowledge and intellect or enlightenment. It means Son of God, right? A holy chosen being who's special and set apart. And because in our realm, this is how we see the word. So when I'm referred to as a Messiah, I always say I am not a Messiah. I have never claimed to be a Messiah because I understand how people see that word. I understand how people see that word, a Christ. I am not a chosen vessel of a God outside of myself. I am not the second coming of Jesus Christ. I am not his son wrapped up in the flesh or God wrapped up in the flesh in any way. I know a lot of you may think this sounds foolish that I should have to say this when I don't even support the belief in this stuff, in this nonsense, but these things I literally have to say, okay? Please understand that I actually have to say out of my mouth that I am not any of these things. Many of you guys know that outside of that, I've never asserted that I was a leader, nor that I should be a leader. I've simply asked that we lead ourselves, that we think, that we go inside of our minds, right? And we think, we process, right? This is all that I have asked. I've never said even think like me. I've said think, be the best you that you can be, and the focus should be on yourself. One of the biggest problems that I have with what's going on is it's causing a lot of you guys to focus on me, and not in a negative way, but because you're worried about me. And I understand. But I want you guys to try your best to continue to focus on yourself. This is something built to distract you. Trust me, it is. Regardless of what happens to my person, it is an attempt to distract you and take you off course. So always remember that it's never about me. It's never about another person. It is always about you. And what you should always do is try your best to find peace within and challenge yourself within so you can continue to grow and continue to blossom, okay? This world is always going to try to distract you. It really is, family. And so what you see going on with me, this is an indicator of what can happen to you if you were to be outspoken about this. So I do encourage you guys, if you don't want to be up against these type of obstacles, fall back and just play behind the curtains, right? Play behind the scenes, as many of you are really good at doing, and we do need people for that as well. But as Vanessa stated in her video earlier, or last night, and it's on Kevin Wesley Group if you guys have not saw it, I encourage you guys to watch that video. She gave you a lot of information that we are actually suffering from, okay? But, you know, in this video, she was saying a lot of what I'm speaking to now, and she was saying mainly that, guys, really think about what we're doing. Think about your next move, and understand that there are consequences to being a good person. And I know that sounds freaking ridiculous, but there are consequences to being a good person, to being real. I remember a while back when watching Dave Chappelle, and they had an episode when keeping it real goes wrong, right? And if y'all remember that episode, it was literally him standing up for himself, and he felt insulted, and he ended up, you know, washing cars on the side of the street from an executive position, sitting at a table, right? Because someone was offending him, and he didn't want to allow himself to be treated like that, right? And that's exactly what we seem to be getting in life. Keeping it real seems to go wrong. I've often asked myself, why is it so that when you try to do the right things, it seems that so many bad things can come of it, you know? But we notice that with this world, it's just not possible to change the world and to not become a target. We know that. Like, we've never seen anyone accomplish this feat of changing the world in a positive way and not becoming a target systematically. We've never seen that happen. So it's inevitable that if you challenge the system, you will be targeted. You know what I mean? So family, just make sure you're careful in how you move. Make sure you're strongly considering your next moves. And remember what I'm saying to you guys right now. I am not, nor have I ever asked to be, a public leader of an organization that advocates hate, that advocates oppression, that advocates violence or terrorist acts. I have never, ever asserted myself, nor have I led on to that I was anyone's Messiah, that I was any more special than anyone else. I've always encouraged us all to think, and it's all about what's in us. Your ability to see what's great in me is simply because of your own greatness, not my own. And this is something I've said over and over again. Never once have I placed myself on a pedestal. And I believe a lot of you guys, I know in fact, a lot of you guys know that, right? And I know a lot of you guys probably find it ridiculous that I have to say this, but these are things that literally are being asserted by organizations from a pulpit. Like, people are doing messages and preaching that I am the leader of an occult group, that I have asserted myself allegedly as being the Messiah, the next coming of a Messiah. And it's crazy because I've never said any of this, not once. Now, I have had people believe that I had an energy about me that was unique and special, chosen, if you will, this anointed type thing. I know this type of thinking comes from religion. I know it does. And so I know when people come to me and they say, man, you are special, I get this feeling from you. When they take this energy, the discernment or the intuition that they get from my energy, and then they automatically assert it to what they've been taught, which is a God, a Messiah, a Savior, a Jesus, I always feel the need, and I always let them know that's your frame of thinking because you were taught that way. I understand, and I've said before that some people have larger than life personalities, and they do stand out. It is something about them. Often, a lot of people have something about them you can't put your finger on, but that does not mean that that person is, from your paradigm, what you would classify them as. So if you're a Christian, and this happens to me all the time, so this is why I'm going to use this example, but as a Christian, if we're walking through a grocery store and you walk up to me because you can sense my energy is good, or you can sense that I'm a good person, if you walk up to me and say, I can feel the Holy Spirit on you, and see right here, Tamasha said your aura is strong, and so I understand that, and I understand that because I understand how strangers treat me, even when they don't know who I am at all. I'm talking about people from all different types of religions. Me and my daughter walked into a hair store the other day, and this Indian guy thought I was anointed. Like, he was the owner of the store, and we're buying the products from him, and he stopped me, and he was like, man, you are anointed. And I was just like, what are you talking? I didn't even know they believed in that. Like, people could be anointed and chosen by God and set apart like Christians believe. And we ended up chopping it up for a few minutes, but I let him know I didn't ascribe to any religion, or do I know enough about his for his God to even make me his choice, But he was sure he felt this energy on me. And that's why I always try to explain to people, it's not from your paradigm, though. We were taught that when you see a special energy on somebody or something special about a person, that it means that they're anointed via your understanding. So if you're a Muslim, you're going to think something else. If you're a Hindu, you're going to think this energy is something else. And this is all from our thought. I think the truth of the matter is we don't really understand what it is that makes us seem larger than life in our aura or our soul, as you call it. Whatever this is that we're calling energy that seems to be vibrating higher or whatever. And we got a grasp of this, but we can't explain it nor actually prove it. I don't think I can prove that, my aura is larger than yours in any way, However, when people do say this, that they can feel this energy, I try to let them know that it's not that. I'm not a savior. If I was, I think I would know that. Like, I think if I was the second coming of the Messiah, it would be crazy for me not to know that, right? Like, I would have let me know, because if I were God, right? If I'm also God in the flesh, then I probably would have told myself who I was, right? And I probably wouldn't be down here speaking against my own literature and denying myself exists, right? Let's just be logical. If I were going to assert myself as the second coming of a God, I would probably say I believed in that God, right? If we're going to be logical, and a lot of people do not use logic, so I'm trying to give you guys some logic before we log off here. If a person says that they do not ascribe or subscribe to the belief in a God, they would not then say that they are the anointed, chosen son of the very God or religion that they said they do not believe in the first place. This is like me saying Harry Potter is fake, but I also have the magic skills from Harry Potter himself. This would be ridiculous, right? It would be ridiculous. So if I don't believe in the literature, there's no way I can think that I'm a character in the literature. That's ridiculous, right? Fright family, it's ridiculous, right? Why things like this can spread so far and rumors can spread so far, I believe it's because people are not familiar with you, and once they hear a rumor like this, they probably don't have time to go through all of your footage, and so they're just going to believe what they want to believe. But family, the very core of what I teach is that I don't believe in religion. I don't support it in any way. That is the very core. That's what made me known. That's what made you guys aware of who I am today, right? Hang on. So I make sure I see that comment. Okay, no, I'm okay. I just want to read what Sharon was saying. I feel you, Sharon. And so, family, I'm just saying that the very core of what I've always taught, or not even taught, because I hate to even consider myself as teaching y'all, but I like to share my thoughts with you guys. You know what I mean? And tell you guys what's crossing my mind and what I'm manifesting in my mind, what I meditate on. But at the very core of that, it is that religion is not true, and that we've been programmed to believe in religion prematurely without having the mind to even rationalize or know how to research what we believe in. We're taught to believe in many of these gods and say their names before we could even read, right? So at the base of what I talk about, I do not subscribe to religion, and I do think it is unhealthy for our world in terms of having a unified world. Why would I then assert that I am a character in religion? Wouldn't that be crazy, family? So you would think that this would sound crazy initially, because I'm known for not believing in literature. So why would I now assert that I'm chosen? Like, the literature is where we get this idea of someone being chosen. The literature is where we get this idea of someone being called and anointed. We wouldn't think like this, family, had we not had this literature. We would not think that God chooses people because they're more special than other people or better in any way. This is all literature. And I keep saying, you choose yourself. It's not a God that chooses you. You choose you. You make the stand to stand up and be, to blossom, and to do what you feel and know that you were created to do, or what you created yourself to do. You understand what I'm saying? You are the person that brings purpose to your life, not someone outside of you, you know? Guys, Junior is asking how to donate. If you guys have that information, please let him know. Junior, I will say go to betheevolution.org, click on the donate tab on that website, or you can actually do my Patreon, and that's where you can be a monthly contributor to my content, and it helps me a whole lot. And of course, you could donate directly to PayPal. I can't upload the links now, but if anyone can do that, if you guys can post that for Junior. And thank you very much in advance, Junior. I encourage you guys to continue to join Patreon, because I will not be using Facebook the way that I was. It will only be, I'll only use it as a tool to keep you guys informed. I'm not going to spin my wheels and try to rebuild a page that they can just take again. It is very imperative that you guys join Patreon, okay? Something that they cannot control. Or, of course, join YouTube while we still have that available. And when this app comes out, I'll get that to you guys as soon as possible. Trust me. But we have to make sure that we have access to each other and that we can check on each other and make sure everybody's okay. You know, so I do want to say to that point, thank you all who have kept in contact. Thank you all who have reached out to voice your concerns and encourage me. I really appreciate that. You understand? But I want you guys to know that I am okay. I will be okay. That doesn't mean I'm going to stop, because I will not. But I want you guys to understand more so of what it is that I'm doing. I want unity. I want people to love each other. And I know that that's an obstacle for all of us, because when we see each other, we see identification. We see Christians, we see Muslims, we see Jews, right? We see black, we see white, we see Hispanic, we see Chinese. And we don't see human beings. We don't see beautiful people, you know? When we look at dogs, we don't look at color. We don't say that's a black dog, that one's brindle, or that one's white, ill, right? You see an animal, right? You see a being. And we can't even do that with each other. And it's simply because we've identified with all of this crap, to be honest with you. It's not just religion. We treat women differently because we've been raised to treat women differently solely because they have a vagina. And that is ridiculous, family. These are the things that I talk about. And it's not even just religion. It's the way we've been programmed to think, period. It all causes division. And so I believe for us to truly be united, we have to let go of these constructual thinkings, this program type of thinking. I'm not asking us to be angry to anyone or be violent towards anyone or to attack anyone in any way that would be deemed a terrorist act, a violent act, or a hateful act. Not at all. I simply say, just with etiquette, right? With poise and patience, bring answers to their questions. When they ask you a question, you won't have to be hateful and yell back an answer because you know what you're saying. You don't have to respond as they do because you actually have a decent argument. You actually have reason for why you are who you are and what you believe. Unlike whenever you were Christian, right? Or whenever you were identifying with different religions, you couldn't actually speak to why you believed in it. And so, of course, anger set in. But now you don't have that reason. You can actually logically speak to why you do not believe in this stuff. And we can actually give them a lot of answers that they need. And we can only do this in love, family. You know what I mean? Thank you, LeSean. Give me 1 second. I'm just trying to catch comments. Always, Kevin. Kevin says, ignore the hate and just keep on moving. I always ignore the hate. This right here is, I kind of have to do this. It's when someone asserts that, you are a hate leader or any type of group leader or cult leader. If they can't find footage of you literally saying that you're not this stuff, they have the right to assume that you are such. So this is my official video, my official documentary, letting the public know that I am not an occult leader. I am not a hate group leader. I am not a terrorist organization. Neither do I have an organization. I use Facebook and other social media tools to share my thoughts with the world, with the people who are willing to listen to me rant, willing to hear me think. This is what I do. I am not out here trying to encourage that we strategize in any way to hurt anyone or any other organization at all. I don't even believe in titles, identifying myself as a group, as a leader, or any of those things that would make a person feel more egotistical about themselves or identify more with their person rather than who they are on the inside. All of these things about identifying with being a leader or even a follower or being a part of something, all these things are things that we do to identify, to look for a connection outside of us. And the goal is to be connected within, to be whole within. And to be whole within, family, you don't need to do any of that. This is why I try to explain to us, we don't have to do that. That's not a need of ours. We've got comfortable with doing that, but we don't have to. We don't have to, right? We can solely be us and be joyous in who we are without having to think that we need to identify with something to be more valuable. You understand what I'm saying, family? So, and this is what I've been saying. In order to change the world, you have to change yourself, not literally go out and change the world and other people. So if I'm asking anybody to challenge anyone or to address or to confront anyone, it is themselves, not another individual in terms of bringing them them hate or anything like that, so thank you, y'all. Oh, yeah, thank you. Right, Kanina, it's all about love. I've always said that it's about going inside. It's about your battle is with you, your inner me. That's it, your inner me, right? It's not with people outside of you. I have said this, family. And the one thing, like I said, that bothers me about this is this takes your focus off of you and it puts your focus on me, wondering about my life and my well-being, when I need your focus to be on you and your well-being and your growth from within. Join the Patreons, family. Join the YouTube. Support all that you can. I definitely need it. We definitely need it. As you see, many of the people who are helping out with what we're doing in terms of trying to wake the world up, just moderating pages. They are being targeted. As you can see, Vanessa suspended, and now she doesn't know when she's going back to work, and of course they're investigating her. And this is just silly, family. People shouldn't have to go through this. We're not doing anything wrong to hurt anyone at all, and like I said, unfortunately, it brings you outside of yourself, and now your focus is on me and my well-being or Vanessa's well-being and things like that. And we don't want your focus to have to be on that. Now, we need your help. We definitely need your help. And loving yourself is loving us, but the goal is for you to evolve. And so I want you to understand that in the light of all of this chaos that seems to be going on, don't forget to meditate. Don't forget to go get your son, okay? Don't forget to go into thought, and don't forget to grow. Don't forget to focus on yourself. This will pass, family. We'll be all right. We will be all right. This always happens, right? Name one person that tried to change the world in a positive way that wasn't made an enemy. Not even the people who we believed in once in literature could do that. Jesus could walk on water. He could raise the dead. He could heal blind men, right? He could turn water into wine. But even he could not change the world without being a public enemy, right? And this is all symbolic. Whenever you try to do right, family, people are going to try to stop you. There will be obstacles. And this is just a fact. And often, more times than not, you do feel betrayed by the greater good. You feel like if I'm doing what's right, if I'm doing things that are righteous in terms of helping people and healing people, why would all of this bad come towards me? And I thought that karma existed. I thought that good things happen to people who do good. And not even on it from a religious aspect. We were just taught that what comes around goes around. And so if you think about Jesus, right, this character who was supposed to be good, feeling betrayed by a God who is supposed to be good, this is exactly the way we feel. Whenever we give ourselves to the greater good, it seems to always betray us. It seems to always forsake us because it doesn't protect you from the people who want to harm you. It doesn't protect you from the people who want to hurt you. You know, it it seems that people who stood for righteous reasons were taken down just like that, and unless they had other people protecting them. But the literal greater good that you're supposedly standing up for, it is nowhere to be found whenever the consequences and the repercussions present themselves back to you. And so when you think of Jesus on this cross, saying to God, "Why have you forsaken me?" or "Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani," this is exactly how we feel whenever we try to do right and wrong seems to come our way. We feel betrayed. We feel hurt. And it's all symbolic. And this is not to say that you are a Messiah. It is literally showing you a character who went through the 33 steps or the 33 stages or the chakra systems, right? The 33 levels to reach what we call consciousness. At the 33rd level, there is the pineal gland. And it's a symbolic character who climbed a mountain, right? And we climb the mountain every day. Or in our journey, we're climbing this mountain to reach the peak. And of course, that's P-E-A-K, which means the top of a mountain, but P-E-E-K, which means you will finally see. You will finally have eyes to see when you stand at the peak, and you will be able to see the world as what it truly is. And it's devastating. It's depressing to see the world as it truly is because we believe it's a good place, and we don't know that. We don't know how badly the world is for good people, and that the world itself, a lot of people in the world, are built on keeping the world a bad place. And once you realize this, it is definitely deflating. You feel as if you're being sacrificed or crucified. It does feel like your whole life is being ripped from you whenever you finally peak, when you finally do wake up and actually awaken to the fact that everything you've been told really was a lie or half truths, right? And so this is just a symbolic characteristics or symbolism of what we call Jesus Christ. In life, the same thing happens. As we evolve, we start to realize things that we didn't realize before. And then we start to face new obstacles. And it seems like at every level, it gets a little bit more difficult. And the goal is that you keep moving, right? If you ever notice when you see people like walking through a snowstorm, they're almost pushing on the wind in order to move forward. They're literally leaning towards the wind in order to continue to move forward. But guess what? They never stop moving, right? So regardless of how cold they are to us, regardless of how much they push back on us, we will continue to push back and just keep moving. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other. We don't have to yell at them. We don't have to be disrespectful to them, mean, or target them in any way. Family, continue to do what you know to do, and that is tell the truth. Be honest. Be sincere. When your family comes to you with information about religion and want answers, kindly speak to them and give them as many answers as you possibly can. Right? But we're not a hate group. We're not out here trying to tell people they're wrong for not believing what we believe. These are things that's been asserted on us. We are actually the victims. We are literally actually the victims. And we're being the ones called hateful. You know, it's crazy. So family, I want you guys to understand why I had to do this. This is something that's definitely been asserted. I have never said I was anyone's savior. I've never called myself Jesus in any way. And I most certainly would not. I don't have a plan to do that at all, okay? I don't have a belief in this character. Just like I wouldn't call myself Thor or identify myself as having any relation to Thor, because that would be ridiculous, right? I don't believe in Thor as being historical, so it'd be crazy for me to believe that I can be in any way characterized by using Thor or any character in Thor. It's the same with the Bible. I've never asserted myself or characterized myself as any person in the Bible. I don't see a need for that, family. So I love you all. I wanted to give you guys this information. Please keep your mind on your business, on yourself, right? Focus within. And of course, keep checking on us, family. That is definitely very much appreciated. But I don't want you guys in a panic state, losing your peace, okay? Regardless of what happens, I want you to understand it's all a distraction, okay? And the goal is for you to go inside of yourself. The goal is for you to evolve. And the only way you can do that is to focus on you. You, right? It's not about anyone else. That's why we can't live in hate. We cannot change the world. You can only change yourself. The good news is, in changing the world, in changing yourself, you do change the world. Because if you change you, you change the world. The reason is because the world is as you see it. The world is as you see it in your head. And if you can change you and change your outlook on the world literally will change right before your eyes. It's just like the monk said to Neo, right? Realize that there is no spoon, and reality itself will begin to bend, right? For you. That's what I did. All right? So, family, I love you all. Thank you so much for joining Patreon. A lot of you guys that came and joined Patreon. I've seen a lot of you guys join YouTube. I have saw those things grow, so I do encourage you guys to keep on joining and all that good stuff. I love you all. Be the evolution. Be the change that you want to see. And listen, no candle loses its flame from lighting another. And do not forget, go within. That is the purpose, family. All right? I love you all. Peace.